The Pod Squad.
The Pod Squad.
The Pod Squad.
The Pod Squad. It's the Pod Squad. The Pod Squad.
I mean,
What about Speedy? Do y'all think he's a stereotype or not? Because I mean, he always wins. He's smart. He's fast. He's the opposite of like the slow Mexican. So what do y'all think? You think he's a hero? He's a positive image, or is he
Speedy?
stereotype of Mexicans? Speedy, yeah, Speedy Gonzalez. He always outsmarts the cat, right? He always beats him. So.
Can y'all hear me okay?
Yes.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
good.
I'm
Because
sorry.
all of a sudden I changed the setting and then my audio wasn't working. I was like, oh no. I think it's going. I think it'll work. We'll try and see how far we get.
Our fingers.
Yeah. I heard your question, Jose. Pretty good question. I don't know.
Because I saw that Gabriel Iglesias, Fluffy does the voice of him in that new Space Jam movie, and they were interviewing him, and they asked him if he thought that it was like they told him, look, you can do any voice you want, you don't have to do it like the old Speedy, because some people might feel that the old Speedy was like a stereotype, right? Ándale arriba, whatever. And he said no. He said, Speedy was the hero, right? I mean, he was smarter than the cat. He always got away from him. He was quick. So he kind of tried to keep the voice the same, sort of. And he said that he saw Speedy as like a good image for Hispanics and Mexicans. But I don't know. I mean, I kind of see it like that too. I don't see him as a hero. I don't have a poster of him in my room or anything, but
I mean, I never had a problem with it. But I wasn't along those lines as a kid. I mean, all this cancel culture and politically correct stuff. Like, come on, man! It's a cartoon. It's a joke. Give it a break.
But but if you look at some of those old things, they get pretty racist.
Oh, there was some propaganda during World War II.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's
Japanese.
Those ones really pushed the envelope. But I don't think Speedy.
Mhm.
Yeah.
That Speedy was fine. I mean, he's Hispanic. How are they supposed?
Well, other than the
You know that-
dress,
They're gonna
other
give him
than
an
the
Irish
way he's
accent?
dressed,
What are
I
they
think
gonna do?
he's great. I think that they could change his wardrobe, but other than that,
Yeah.
his character's good.
Because they always make the Mexicans look lazy, right?
Yeah.
He's
As they did with
señor.
blacks as well.
Mhm.
They did that
But
with
there's,
blacks
there's
too.
all types. Race has nothing to do with it. There's lazy of every sort, and there's hardworking of every sort.
I think it was a different time when those cartoons came out, so I'm not trying to excuse the people that made the cartoons, but
Anyway, I guess that leads us to. Oh, I got a gnat fly right in front of me. I guess that leads us to our topic today. We are celebrating National Hispanic Heritage Month. I guess you could classify it as Latino or, whatever.
Latinx.
Whatever you want. It's like I'm a little used to Latino, but I mean, I'll switch between the two. So
Get the term right, Boomer.
okay.
To do so properly, shouldn't we actually have some Latinos on this panel?
Might be a good idea. I don't know.
They'll let you
I think the cat is Latino there.
I was asking her about that when you were gone.
cat bilingual.
Anyway, we're the Pod Squad. This is a Pod Squad sessions. I'm Belinda. Over to this side is Mike. Over to this side is Jose. Down here should be Susan, and down here should be Victor. So if I'm wrong, I will correct it on the screen. But yeah, we decided to talk about all things Latinx, Hispanic. So I don't know. How do we want to start off? Nobody makes an executive decision here.
I know we're going to cover three things. So is each of us going to cover three things and the next person covers three things? Or are we going to go movie?
You can do it however you want, but Susan's going to say that I changed it. So she was upset the last time. Susan, what do you think, Susan? How should we do this?
Let's go movies, I guess.
Movies first? Okay. All right. Let's do that.
Nice.
Then.
Start with movies. Okay.
Yeah, well, I guess we're gonna start with movies. So, anybody want to go first?
Pick somebody.
We need one of those things like at school when we pick students, like a little spinner
the
or
little
something,
roulette thing?
and then it lands on somebody's name, and then all right.
Let's see. We could go alphabetically first name or alphabetically last name, or we could go oldest to youngest. Some people might be.
Okay, that's me.
I'm going last. Going last, way last.
Please.
Yeah. Oldest first because I could keel over at any time. You just never.
Well, I don't know. Let's see. Why don't we go with Victor? We'll start with Victor.
All right.
Your last name starts with a C. We'll go with you.
And I'm the oldest, so I qualified twice. So movies. So we're not going to do music or the miscellaneous, just the movies, right?
Right now, I guess just movies. Yeah.
Okay. The edict has been set forth by Susan. So okay. The movie I chose, I gotta admit, I haven't seen this movie in a long time, but I did see it in theater. And it was a great movie. I really, really enjoyed it. And it was a very successful movie too. And that would be like Water for Chocolate, based on a best-selling novel. And it was filmed in and around the border area of Texas. And it's the story of, you kind of have to go back to Mexican traditions. The way it was back in the day, the youngest daughter would usually not marry because she was the one that was responsible for taking care of the mom when she got old. So the way the story goes is there's this family and the mother will not allow the daughter to have a boyfriend because she doesn't want to marry her off. She wants her to stay to be her caretaker when she gets older. Well, this young daughter is in love with this guy. So what ends up happening, because he loves her too, he ends up marrying her sister, her older sister, so that they can be near each other. So it's quite involved. And so the Water for Chocolate reference comes from the fact that the daughter is a very good cook. And so she puts a lot of her passion for him into her cooking. And it gets a little creative because there's a scene where she makes this beautiful meal, and as everyone's eating it, they all become very, for lack of a better word, horny because of the food she makes. So there's some humor in this movie. It's a very good movie, and it's worth seeing if you haven't seen it because it is very good. It's in Spanish. I think you can find it with overdub in English, but of course it's better if you see the Spanish version with the subtitles. But it's a very good movie, well acted, and the kind of a part that turned out later on, the director is a man named Alfonso Arrau. And if you don't know who Alfonso Arrau is, he's a very accomplished actor and director. He's also a very handsome man because he also goes by the name of El Guapo. If you've ever seen the Three Amigos, he plays El Guapo and he likes sweaters. So he's the one that directed the movie like Water for Chocolate. So he's a very yeah, it's a sweater. Yes. So he was a director, and it was a very good movie. I strongly recommend it. It's really good. And one other piece of tidbit of trivia that I didn't know until I was researching this is while they were shooting this, there was another up and coming Hispanic director on the set. He was just in town making his own movie, and he just kind of went over to watch them make this movie. And that director was Robert Rodriguez, who was he was actually making El Mariachi while they were making Water for Chocolate.
Oh wow!
Know that? Yeah, that's very fascinating. So yeah, there's that connection there. But yeah, like Water for Chocolate will be my movie. It's really good. Please check it out.
Yeah,
it's the recipes in it.
I'm sorry?
The book has the recipes in it.
Oh yeah.
Oh wow.
I didn't know that either.
Wow.
Yeah, that's it. It's a really risque type movie, but when when I was thinking about the story,
it's also very traditional because I remember there's one scene where the daughter and the guy that end up getting married, they get married on their honeymoon. They give her a sheet to wear that has a strategic hole in the sheet because apparently back then skin was not allowed to touch when they were consummating the marriage. It's fascinating movie to watch. I'm sorry I interrupted you, but I remember that.
No, that's okay. That's okay.
Risque, and I remember.
I think that also had to do with like proof of consummation.
Yeah.
And the title comes from a Mexican saying that says "como agua para chocolate," which means very hot, very passionate. So that's exactly what the movie's about. But I was thinking about the story, and I recalled a different movie with a very similar storyline, Chocolat, right? And that was kind of based in France. It was like an old, can't remember who's in it, Johnny Depp and who is it?
I think that same French lady that always comes, or
probably, I can't remember right now. But I was trying to see, like, Chocolat was actually written by an English author, but it was a 99 novel, like written in 99. And the other one was written in 1989.
Oh.
So like Water for Chocolate actually beat out Chocolat. Chocolat was not as risque, although the stories are very similar, like as far as how the chocolate works into the story, but yeah, that reminded me of that when you were talking about that the story. So little tidbit to throw in there.
Yeah.
All right. Well, interesting movie. Okay.
Somebody else is going to pick it. Says, I'm glad I'm going first.
Let's see who goes next. Who's next on the alphabet? Cavazos. Susan, right? Yeah, Susan, you're next.
I don't like that. That's like school.
Okay, do you pass? Somebody's gonna take your movie, but okay.
It already been said.
Oh, that was the one that you really?
I was thinking of that one because I had read the book and then I saw the movie.
Oh.
I'm sorry.
was when you mentioned the director, which was that movie too. So that was Ed Mariachi.
Well, I just mentioned it.
Oh, okay. Well, nobody's talked about it. He just mentioned it.
I didn't go into detail. I just
Yeah.
mentioned Robert Rodriguez.
Because I didn't see it when it came out. I just saw it one day on TV, and of course it's in Spanish, but it was dubbed. Well, not dubbed. What's it called?
Subtitles.
Subtitle. Yes. You see them all in subtitles. Of course, like you said, Robert Rodriguez was the director. I didn't know his budget on that movie was like $7,000. The whole movie. And
He got that money.
or so. That's pretty good. It's about a traveling guitar player, just looking to play music. Comes into a village, a little town. Stops by a bar. Excuse me. But the people there are waiting for this assassin. They don't know how he looks, so they all think it's him. Because he's carrying his guitar case. So he gets into all that. I won't get the whole story. You should watch it.
Don't give away the ending.
He actually got his $7,000 to make that film by doing a medical research study.
Huh.
That's the story that's out there.
There you go. If you want to make a movie, go submit yourself to some research.
Donate plasma.
So turn yourself into a clinic, become a lab rat for a month, walk over to salaries, and then make your film.
Like, where did this third year come from?
The third year.
That's a good one. Hey, I almost went to
My extra finger. What's this extra finger doing?
First, that led to the other movie, and I'm not gonna say it. No, just Desperado. And
Yes.
everyone knows that one because of one song too.
Yeah, it became a whole franchise after that that initial mariachi movie. So yeah.
That was my next movie after what Victor said. I had those two. I wouldn't remember that one. That was like chocolate for water.
Yeah. It's a long time ago. Jose doesn't remember. He's a baby.
I'm too young.
It came out in 1992. So.
Oh man, so long ago. Oh, wasn't even born then.
30 years ago.
Oh my God.
Wasn't even born yet.
I can't remember what I had for lunch yesterday.
Make me feel old, why don't you? All right.
I forgot. One of the actors in that movie of the Water for Chocolate, I know you probably never heard of him, but Marco Leonardi, and the other one, Lumi Cavazos.
A relative, Victor? A relative?
Maybe.
Possibly.
I actually do have a relative that makes movies, but I've told you about him before. But
I was going to say, if you can get a hold of him, like say I'm your long lost cousin, and then try to get him to get you into Hollywood or something.
Oh. All right. Well, who's next? I think that goes to Jose next.
All right. Woo.
All right. We got to do a grito for everyone.
That was terrible.
I know my gritos are horrible. I wish you could do a big good one, but
oh, maybe we can muster one up, a real one at the end. We'll see.
Yeah, there you go. Like the grito.
All right, go ahead, Jose.
all right. So I picked this one. I thought somebody might have picked it, but I guess not. 1990. Well, I don't know if I wrote. Oh, I think 97. Gregory Nava directed Selena. So that's the That's the one that I picked. I was a fan of Selena back in the day, but I think after the movie, and I actually didn't see the movie till like about maybe 3 or 4 years ago for the first time. But I love the movie. And by the way, Greg Nava also directed another movie that's one of my favorites called Mi Familia, or My Family. If you guys have never seen that one, it's.
Don't mention anything.
I'm not going to talk about it. I'm just talk about Selena. I was just going to go off right now. By the way,
I'm glad you're talking about him. It's a segue into my film. You talk about Selena, I talk about me.
Mike's going next, I guess. Then.
Yes.
So Selena's mine. Of course, it was a big. It was a pretty modest hit, but I think it became more of a hit later. You know, once it came out like on DVD and stuff, more people got exposed to it. A lot of information about it that I found, a lot of things that I thought were kind of cool that I didn't know about the movie, but I'll start out with just the basic stuff. Jennifer Lopez, of course, like her career defining role. She was just like a dancer before that. And then she got the role of Selena, which was very controversial because she's Puerto Rican and from York. So a lot of people here in Texas were mad about that. I think even the dad wasn't very happy about that. But once they saw her, that she was able to convince them. And the fact that she's a dancer, right? And Selena dances. And then I don't think Jennifer Lopez was singing yet. She didn't have like a recording contract yet, but she was able to kind of lip sync pretty good and act pretty good. So that was required of the audition. They said that it's the second largest audition in history for an actress. The first one was Scarlett O'Hara from Gone with the Wind, but they had auditions all over the country, Chicago, here in San Antonio. Thousands of people came out. But I think they kind of already had an idea of who it was going to be, because I think all that was just publicity stuff. I remember when they were talking about it, like you see some of they would pan over the girls, that were waiting in line. I'm like, I think some of those girls get them a chance in hell to what's that?
When they did the auditions here in San Antonio, my acting coach back in the day actually was one of the casting directors that was helping out with the auditions. He said every girl in town showed up in a bustier. He goes, it didn't even matter if they were Hispanic. He had blonde and blue-eyed girls showing up. They wanted to be Selena. He said,
girls in there. I'm like, oh. Yeah.
Anything for Selena's.
Anything to be Selena's. I know I don't look like her, but I sound like her.
Were you in the line?
I would have dressed in drag just to.
Exactly.
No,
I would have dressed in drag.
I was not at the audition. I missed that. But I did run across Jennifer Lopez and her little entourage, the cast. While they were filming in San Antonio, they actually made their way to a place on St. Mary's Street. So I was in there with some live music, and they were all there at the bar, kind of there. So didn't get to meet her or anything like that, but we hung out in the same
close
bar.
encounter of the celebrity kind didn't happen there.
And the funny thing is, that night a big old brawl broke out in the bar. So they escorted her out right away. But I was like, welcome to San Antonio.
Yeah, right. What an impression.
Welcome to St. Mary's Street. But yeah, she was cool.
There. Jennifer Lopez was paid $1 million. At the time, she was the highest paid Hispanic actress. Hispanic actress, I guess not actress, but just Hispanic actress. $1
million? That's all she got? Was $1 million?
At the time,
wow.
Pay for an actress.
Yeah, 97 when it came out. Yeah. Let's see. Jennifer Lopez stayed with the family like for a few days to kind of learn their mannerisms. I think they all kind of like shadowed their counterparts, except for her, of course, obviously, but they all were living with the family members and stuff, trying to gather stories about them and do research. And there's a scene in there where Chris Perez, the actor that plays him, I think his name is John Seda. There's a scene where he's playing the guitar. Well, that's actually Chris Perez's fingers that they show playing the guitar. He had him come on set so that he could play the guitar. And then so a lot of people thought that the actor, he was like, I never played the guitar. And everybody kept asking me to play in bands and stuff because they, thought he was some kind of a shredder. Let's see what it was. And so that's it. That's kind of like the main thing information that I had about the movie, but pretty influential for me. I'm a guy, but I'm willing to admit that the movie had a big impact on me, and I'm consider her one of the best singers in history, Mexican and Mexican American, because she did something that very few Mexican or Mexican American singers could do, and that was crossed over from one to the other. She lived in both. She was famous in Mexico and she was famous here in the United States. And I mean, her legacy still living on even right now. There's, TV show that just came out about a year ago, and people still listen to her music. So that's why I picked Selena.
Good one.
Better make
Ah,
And directed by who? So I can seg into Mike.
Great. What was that, Susan?
Oh, so she had a makeup line too.
That's right, and clothing and everything. She did it all. She
had her own boutique on Broadway there for a little while.
Yeah.
we're gonna have to go really fast.
But Belinda's Commodore 64 isn't working.
Yeah, Commodore 64.
Hey, don't show your age.
Her IBM computer, and it's like put in punch cards.
They were never the same when Lionel left the band.
If an abacus is part of your computer, you need an upgrade.
Yeah, probably.
The hamsters aren't running fast enough.
Okay, Mike, I guess go ahead and get started because we're gonna need all the time.
Okay, I'm just gonna skim right through it then, because I'm worried we're gonna run out. So segueing in from what Jose was talking about, another Gregory Nava film came out in 1995, 2 years before the 1997 Selena film. Was called Mi Familia, or My Family. It was a very enjoyable film for me. I haven't seen it since, I actually remember going to see it at the theaters, and my memory's not what it used to be, so I'm trying to remember exactly. I just remember bits and pieces, but I do remember it being a very enjoyable, touching film. It has drama, it has humor. I guess a good indicator for me, that barometer for films, was my significant other at the time, blonde-haired, blue-eyed German girl from Germany. She enjoyed the film. And when I say from Germany, I mean born and raised in Germany. And she's a harsher critic than Siskel and Ebert. She didn't like a film, she told you, but she enjoyed this film. And I remember while we were in the theater watching it, thinking, this film is too Mexican for her. But no, she actually really, I could tell at the end of the movie that she enjoyed it. It's a film about 3 generations of a Mexican family. The father, the patriarch of the family, migrates from Mexico. They settle in East Los Angeles. Different parts of the stories, the family goes in different directions. Some of them, like real life, some do better than others. Some hit the streets, and some go off to get an education or make a good life for themselves. And there's a lot in this film that I can relate to on both sides. It enjoyed moderate success. Had a $3.8 million budget, brought in about $11 million at the box office, so fairly respectable. Had a few awards. I didn't even mention who was in the film. Edward James Olmos, Jimmy Smits, and Isai Morales were the stars of the film. Really good film.
Jennifer Lopez is in it too.
I was gonna say, what about the women in that movie?
Yeah, Jennifer Lopez. Gregory Nava uses a lot of the same actors from
Yeah,
that movie and Selena later.
yeah.
Constance Marie.
Well, I'm just going off of the movie poster, Belinda. I'm sorry. I'm reading off the movie poster. Yeah, you're right.
The three men that are in the front of the poster.
El Pedilla, Carillo, what is it? Let me find out. Constance Marie. There you go. There's a couple other women there. Good film. Really enjoyable film. If you've never seen it, it's a 1995. It's a 26-year-old film, but it's it makes mention of part of the storyline is one of the characters, Jimmy, goes off to San Antonio and secures a good job in San Antonio. It concludes with the matriarch of the family being empty nesters and saying how God has been good to us. We've been very lucky and our life has been very, very good. So it's a story about people coming to this country from Mexico and making a good life for themselves and their family. Sure, there's some stuff in there that's kind of goes down a dark storyline, but overall, it's a very enjoyable film. I recommend it highly.
I got a question. I think there was a TV show on PBS that was based. Was it called La Familia? That was based on the same movie. I haven't seen the movie, but
it's not based on the same movie, but it's kind of similar to it. And it had Raquel Welch in there and some other.
I remember Raquel Welch being the matriarch of the family, and I think Edward James Olmos was in it too. I'm not sure, but I remember it was a pretty good show. I couldn't watch it regular. You know how I'm about TV shows, but when the episodes that I did see, I really enjoyed it. It sounded like the same name, so I was wondering if it was the same family or same storyline.
And was it a series or a movie or what?
It was kind of like it was on PBS, and it was I think Gregory Nava was attached to it somehow. I don't know if he was like a producer or what.
Yeah,
but it lasted maybe a couple of seasons, and that was it. But
yeah,
I remember Raquel Welch was in it.
Was it American Family?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh.
But I'll need to see the movie though. That sounds like a good movie.
And I think Francis Ford Coppola was attached to that American Mi Familia somehow. One? Yeah, he was like a producer or something. No, the movie, the Mi Familia movie.
Oh, okay.
It was, because he did The Godfather, which tells the story of an immigrant, coming to America. So it's kind of sort of the same. Mi Familia, you got this immigrant family, and they're assimilating into America, but they're tied to their culture. And so I'm guessing that's why he was attached to it, maybe.
What I liked about the film is it covers 3 generations and their different paths in life, and it's a really good, enjoyable film. I highly recommend.
Very good.
Not seeing it after all these years, I still remember it was a good film.
I don't think I ever saw the whole thing. I saw bits and parts of it, but I'm gonna have to check that one out at some point. Okay, well, I'm gonna do mine. I had 2 and I picked 2 because I didn't know what you guys were gonna pick. But really none of y'all really even went kind of this I don't know what to call it, like a genre. It's more historical. So I picked 2 things. I saw this film quite a few years ago called The Bronze Screen. It's more of a documentary. The Bronze Screen, 100 Years of the Latino Image in Hollywood. And I mean, it just went through like every Latino image that, that you probably would have seen at some point on film, from the start of cinema. So they go through people like Carmen Miranda and Rita Hayworth.
Something like that.
Yeah, okay. It works. All right.
I had gotten a couple of those when we had school, the first.
Yeah. But how do I know when it's fully charged? I don't see anything
You
indicator.
should have gotten one of these. Hold on.
Little lights.
You should have gotten one of these to go with it.
Yeah, I've got a bunch of those, and I got a drawer full of.
That's what you do. You plug the little one into the charger, and then the USB into your computer to charge it.
Okay.
You guys are sounding like boomers now. Like,
I know.
how does this thing work?
The thingamajiggy into the whatchamacallit.
I prefer my Commodore.
Okay, we're back in business. It's everything's working now. So.
And you are next.
Yeah, well, I was going, but I forgot where I left off.
You're talking about
I think I was talking about the bronze screen, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so yeah, so it is more of a documentary type thing, but it really like kind of opened my eyes as to like, wow, we've been around for quite a while for us not to be represented in film more than we are at this point. And there was a lot of kind of whitewashing stuff and people changing names and whatnot to make it more palatable, so anyway, yeah, I think I just roll my eyes. Well, whatever. But yeah, that documentary like was very enlightening as far as like just seeing the history of the image of Latinos in Hollywood. So if y'all have never seen it, that's a good one to watch. The other one that I had picked, which is kind of similar because it's a lot of historical knowledge, very entertainingly put together, is what is it called? Bless you. John Leguizamo's Latin History for Morons.
It's a good one.
Very, very, you learn a lot. And for people who don't understand why Chicanos and Latinx and Hispanic people protest a lot of the things we do, it's like, watch this movie watch this movie, please. It's very educational, but it's done in a way where it's entertainment, and it's entertaining, and he's very funny. Obviously, I don't know if you guys have ever seen John Leguizamo doing his kind of comedy stuff, but yeah, it's really good. So that was Latin History for Morons.
That one was on Netflix, I think. It might still be on there.
It could be, yeah. I think originally, was it an HBO? I think it was on HBO originally. I'm not sure. But yeah, I think it was on Netflix as well, so you could probably catch it there. I don't know where to find the other one, because like I said, I saw it quite a while back, the documentary. I'm sure it's somewhere. You just gotta kind of search for it. So those are my two picks.
Oh, we got some good ones here.
Yeah.
Belinda gets two.
What now?
I said Belinda gets two.
I got
know.
that in there, yeah.
She's like, and my other one, what?
Hey, we need to hurry up. We don't have a lot of time.
Didn't take me but maybe 30 seconds to do. Okay.
Damn it.
I did have a quick question about John Leguizamo. Is he Colombian or is he from Mexico? Where's his heritage?
He's Puerto Rican.
Puerto Rican.
Yeah,
okay.
I think he's Puerto Rican.
Okay, I wasn't sure, but okay.
Yeah. So that's it for the film, guys. I guess we're ready to tackle some music now.
Go back around to the top, Victor.
We can go back around. We can go backwards. We can mix it up. Whatever y'all want.
Round and round.
Susan wants me to mix it up.
Your executive producer said, "Mix it up."
Sergeant at Arms.
Sergeant at Arms.
Enforcer.
Okay, Victor looks like he's ready to go. Go ahead, Victor.
I am, but if I don't want to steal
No,
anybody.
go for it.
Okay, this song is actually very special to me because it was my mom's favorite song. I'm already getting emotional because my mom's not with us anymore. And whenever she wanted to hear mariachis, she always requested the song. And I could always tell how good the mariachis were because, oh, no, we don't know that song. Because it's a difficult song to sing. But y'all may be familiar with Malagueña Salerosa. It's an old song. But even when I watched the videos on YouTube, I started getting teary because, I miss my mom. And this brought back a lot of memories. So I'll give you, so I won't start crying now. I'll start giving you some details about it. It was written, according to, I guess, legal, it was written by Elpidio Ramirez and Pedro Galindo, and it was published in 1947. Although there is some controversy, some people said it was more like a, public domain kind of song because it's older than that. But these guys kind of just said, well, we'll take credit for it. So there's a little controversy with some people about who actually wrote the song. This is considered by many to have been written anonymously long before they accepted, the publishing rights for it. Okay. But it's been covered by many artists of all kinds, rock artists, obviously mariachis, soloists, singers. But the key part is that there's an element to the song that where you have to hit a very high note and hold it for a very long time. Obviously, I won't play it here because I've been told about not playing music on but I'll probably put it on our Facebook page. So that'll give you all incentive to check out our Facebook page. So the Mariachi Vargas did a version of it, and I was watching it. And like I said, I got emotional. It's a beautiful song. It's basically a song about a man who doesn't have a lot of money, not a well-to-do guy, but he's in love with a well-off woman, a beautiful woman, and he just sings this like a serenade to her about he wishes he could be her guy, but it's just a great song that I have lots of it's a personal thing for me. So I look forward to posting it on the Facebook page and hope you all enjoy it as much as I do.
Can you repeat the title one more time, please?
Malagueña Salerosa. And it's about a guy who's, I guess, from Malaga. It's from Spain. I think it's originated in Spain. And he's singing, she is the rose of Malaga. This song is just an etude to her.
There's a group that Robert Rodriguez, I don't know if you guys know the director that he has, like he plays the guitar, and he formed a group called, I don't know, I can say this because it's in Spanish, it's a bad word, but Chingon. And they did a version of Malagueña Salerosa for one of the movies that he did. It's in their soundtrack, but if you guys look it up, it's more of like a rock kind of version of the song.
It's in Kill Bill.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. And I said I saw many versions, but I was focusing on the mariachi version because again, and I remember. Here I go again. I shouldn't be saying this.
You're making me cry, man.
I'm gonna sing it for you right now. No, I'm kidding.
I better not, because that's where
I'm trying to like.
It's not fine if I start talking about it. So next.
Okay.
It's a beautiful song.
Yeah.
We'll move on and we'll let him compose himself. Jose, you want to go next?
Okay, so I'm gonna sing the song for y'all. Woo. Yeah, I'm gonna perform it or part of it.
Wait, do you have the legal rights to do so, sir?
That's the thing, man. It is a traditional song. But so I don't know, but a lot of people have covered it. So I don't know if we're getting into like legal realm or
I think you're probably okay. You're not gonna sing the entire song, are you?
No, and I don't even know the lyrics that good, so I kind of make them up as I go along.
Well, I've heard that if you spoof a song, you don't have to worry about any of that.
Oh, okay. All right. Then
Don't
maybe
stick to the lyrics, you probably
maybe that'll work. All right. So let me.
Oh.
Ooh.
If y'all can hear this. Can y'all hear this?
Yes.
You hear that?
Ah.
Oop. Ah, dang it, I forgot it. Everybody. Necesito una poca de gracia.
Una poca de gracia para mi patria, y arriba, ay, arriba, por ti seré, por ti.
Yo no soy marihuano. I don't know the rest of the words, but I like marijuana. All right.
So when you started singing, I thought you ran Belinda off.
I know. I thought she was taking all.
I came back. I was looking for my dang lighter.
She was running a puke or something like.
She was running to get her. She was running to get her earplugs.
Yeah. That's usually what happens when I sing. Yeah.
Oh my God.
It clears out the room.
You didn't
Clears out the room.
Not attempt to sing on this show. Ever.
I see those paws on.
Whoever's gonna follow me has a tough act to follow. So
I'm glad I went first.
yeah.
I don't know if I could carry that tune.
You have to, well, I don't have a voice, as y'all can tell. I can write music, I can perform it, but I can't sing it. So I'm not a singer.
My Malagueña high pitched, you know.
I don't think you'll ever get me to sing on this show.
Maybe after a couple drinks.
After a couple drinks, yeah.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah, there you go. That's what we need.
You know the lyrics to that tequila song?
So you got to know.
I'll do the Pee Wee Herman.
There you go.
Oh my gosh.
All right, so La Bamba is mine. It's an old Mexican folk song from Veracruz. Some people claim that it's been around for centuries. There's some people that claim that they know who it is that originally wrote it, but that's just, who knows, right?
Yeah.
But of course, it's famous because of the 1958 version that Richie Valens did. So that's another reason why I picked it. So, because it has like different meanings. It's Chicano. He's probably one of the first, I think, Mexican Americans to ever have a top 40 hit. The guy was like Chicano because he was Mexican. His parents were from Mexico, but he didn't even barely spoke any Spanish. So they had to like phonetically, I guess, or sort of like teach him how to say the words when he did the song, because he didn't really know how to pronounce a lot of the words, which is kind of weird.
He was only 17 years old too.
Yeah, he was only 17 when he passed away. So I mean, I think that I was reading it, I was surprised, but his career only lasted like about 8 months.
Wow.
He was only
wow.
he recorded
I
2
didn't
albums
realize
within
it was that short.
Yeah, only within like about a 8-month period, he recorded 2 albums, and then he passed away. And I think, and I think the movie too had a big impact too on me, and the song and everything. It's just the movie that when I saw it as a young kid had a big impact on me. The music, the meaning of the movie. Had Los Lobos doing the remake of his song, which is another big band that I love a lot.
Their version is the one in the movie. Their version.
Yes, exactly. And seeing Mexican Americans on the screen. And when I was a kid, I didn't see that, other than Ricardo Montalban or he's not even really Mexican American, but brown people in movies and positive roles. So
I thought you said round. I go round.
Well, yeah, some of them are kind of round. The ones that eat a lot of tacos. Yeah, a lot of migas.
I'm round and brown, baby. Woo!
Barbacoa and Big Red.
There you go. And it was one of the first songs, Latino crossover hits. One of the first Latino and songs in Spanish too, because it's not common that a song in Spanish becomes a big hit. So that's it.
Good one.
Yeah, good choice. I like that. Hey, let's see. I guess I'll go. I'll let Susan go after that.
Are you gonna sing it?
No, I'm not gonna sing it.
Sing.
Not this one, no. No, this one is I associate it, just like Victor, I associate it with my mom because this is her favorite artist, her favorite singer in the world. And they based a movie off of it. It's totally Mexicana, it's a song by Vicente Fernandez. Well, at least he sings it. And it's La Ley del Monte.
Oh.
Yeah. And so every time I hear it, it's like I remember the scenes in the movie. I remember, I think about my mom and that's he's El Rey. He is Mexican mariachi music, ranchera music. So that's my pick.
That one has a sentimental value for me too. My dad, and when I saw the movie as a kid, and whenever I hear that song too, I get choked up. I get choked up every time I hear that song, especially at the beginning. The little notes in the beginning is like.
As soon as you hear it.
As soon as I hear it, give me the tequila, man.
Exactly. Yeah.
Now, it's not my song pick, but the song that does it for me, like Victor and then the song you're mentioning right now is Amor Eterno.
Oh man, that one.
Yeah,
too.
That's another one. Yeah.
That one strikes an emotional chord in me. My dad turned me on to that song 20 years ago. He had a little cassette. We were driving to Mexico City. And he played that cassette over and over and over for that. And all of her songs kind of just grew on me on that road trip. But that one.
Sorry, my song.
There we go. Yeah.
My song cut into the time. Sorry.
No, it's just that we started talking about other stuff and then.
That's how much time we have.
Okay, let's see. I think
Belinda picked 2 movies instead of 1. So.
Oh my God! all my fault.
And I kind of feel like I already cheated bringing up Amor Eterno.
There you go. See,
I just mentioned that one because you guys are talking about songs that strike an emotional chord, and that's what came to mind.
Yeah.
But Rocio Delgado's version is my favorite. I know Juan Gabriel wrote the song, and I like his version as well, or better. I don't know. I like her version. But
yeah, that one makes me tear up too. If I really listen to, like, if I'm just hearing it in the background, it's no big deal. But if I like actually take time and listen to it and like internalize it, it's like, oh, devastating. But yeah, good songs. Susan, you're next.
No, let Mike go.
Oh, okay, Mike.
Okay. Well, to take a cue from Belinda, I'm not sticking to one. No, I'm kidding. I am leading up to one performer. Had a couple of big hits, Latino. He's the one that, growing up, I was impressed with him because, wow, he made it to the national stage. South Texas guy. But before I get to him, I feel like there's a whole build up to that. So I hope you don't mind me, and I'll try to make it quick, but there's a lot there. Back in the 60s and 70s, there was, I don't know if genre is the right word, or musical movement here in San Antonio, South Texas, of a lot of Latino artists, local, some from other parts of Texas or California, but they had that doo-wop kind of sound. Some people refer to it as the San Antonio sound, the South San Antonio. I forget how they go. The West Side Horns. I grew up with that because my dad was not a musician. He was not a singer, but he was a songwriter, and I think that's where I get my writing from, obviously. But I don't write songs. I write film shorts and movie scripts and what have you. Used to write poems and stuff, but I digress. He was always writing for these recording artists that were from this region. There is a recording studio. I think they're still there. I Googled them on South Florida Street called Sunglow Records. If anybody is familiar.
I remember.
Sunny and the Sunglows, Sunny and the Sunliners. And I always thought that Teardrop Records was a local record company too. Now they do have a local connection. When I started going through their story on Wikipedia, they were actually that Teardrop was formed in Winnie, Texas, which is right outside of Houston, by a Cajun DJ. Let me just get my notes because I already forget his name. Huey P. Meaux, M-E-A-U-X. He was known as a Crazy Cajun, so he was a DJ probably in the Houston area or Louisiana area. He founded Teardrop Records, moved his operations to Conroe, again in the Houston area. Later on, he bought TNT Records pressing plant in San Antonio. So that's probably why I thought Teardrop was from San Antonio, because I remember my dad going to that recording studio, going with him as a kid, and meeting these local recording artists, Sonny and the Sunliners, Joe Bravo, Carlos Miranda. Maybe you remember these guys. Henry Zimmerly. My dad wrote a whole album for Henry Zimmerly. He even had his picture on the back of one of his albums, and they did a little biography. Sent songwriter. Some of the other notables, Jimmy Edward. This is 60s and 70s. I don't know if this means about any of you guys, but so I grew up around that. One of the songs that I really liked was Joe Bravo's "It's All Right," but that's not the song I'm leading up to. Teardrop Records, one of their biggest hits was "Talk to Me" by Sonny and the Sunglows. It made it in 4 to the Billboard Top 100. But in the 70s, now I'm getting to what the guy I'm really is from San Benito, Texas. None other than Freddie Fender. I remember seeing Freddie Fender. I don't remember if it was Hee Haw or Grand Ole Opry, but I remember being impressed as a kid, like, that's a Latino hanging on Hee Haw, singing Before the Next Teardrop Falls. He made it to the national stage. He recorded on Teardrop Records, which has the local San Antonio connection, but he may have done the recordings in the Houston area. But yeah, that to me, Freddie Fender was the guy that was kind of that trailblazer for a lot of Hispanic recording artists, like Emilio. Emilio made it to Nashville. Tried to go a little country there for a while. He's got that San Antonio connection. There's Danny and the Tejanos, which is a good friend. Danny Martinez, that was his group in the sense. Same fell into that same category of Tejano recording artists. He used to work at Alamo Music pretty much his whole life. His sons are all musicians. his son Mark actually toured with, as a young guy, as a 20-year-old. He went out on tour with Emilio for years. Now Emilio's kids have carried on the legacy of their father. They're actually back. They were actually backing up Sting there for a while. I don't know if they're still doing that.
I promoted them recently. They were at the Flores Country Store recently. I've been posting videos. They're good.
Los Bandoleros,
Mhm.
The Last Bandoleros, yes.
yeah, something like that.
That's what they go by.
Las Banderos?
They go by the Last Bandoleros.
No, the last Banderos.
Yeah.
I got to get it right. Sorry about that, guys. But yeah, so Teardrop Records, Sunglow Records, San Antonio Connection, that whole movement in the 60s and 70s. Some of those bands, I mean, even like Augie Myers and Doug Somm, Sir Douglas Quintet, I know they're not he's not Latino, but they were all part of that movement back in the day. But to me, the guy that made it to the top back in the 70s and was Freddie Fender, before the next Teardrop Falls. And he also had another song called Wasted Days and Wasted Nights.
Mhm.
So that's my pick. But I kind of touched on a lot of other stuff too. Sorry.
That brings back a lot of memories. Yeah, I remember that.
That broke the rule, but I was looking for something with the local.
And just to mention the Texas Tornadoes, which he was part of until he passed away.
Mhm.
Really good band. That's an all-star band right there. That was awesome.
Yeah.
And the song, when the next teardrop falls, it has English and Spanish lyrics. Which,
Yep.
you think about it,
I'm
Pretty
singing it in
impressive.
my head right now.
Oh, come on. Jose sang. You can sing.
Oh,
Wait,
I don't want to clear out the room again.
Grab your guitar. We'll do a duo here.
It's like, why is everybody on mute? What's going on? Everybody turn off their.
Oh my gosh.
No, the only one on mute, I think, is you.
Oh, I mean, I'm sorry. Yeah, me. I should be on mute. Have they put me on mute?
Oh my gosh. Wow. So
Yeah.
I guess Mike, you and I both have kind of some ties to music, Latino music here in San Antonio. You with your dad. I don't know. I don't think I've ever told you guys this, but my godfather, my like baptismal godfather, was Louis Silva. He was a songwriter. I don't know if you guys have been watching the new Selena movie or program, whatever, on Netflix. They have a guy playing him in there when oh my gosh, for the life of me I can't remember his name. Selena's brother goes.
Maybe.
Thank you. Yeah, when he goes to his dad sends him off to go ask Louis Silva for a song, and it's like his first time, like out, like trying to, do something in the business or whatever, and he's asking him for a song, and he promises him one, but later he like doesn't fulfill it because he has another client that he has to like work on or whatever. But yeah, he was also like a big name here in San Antonio. Anybody who really knows, music, San Antonio based, Latino music, his name comes up all the time. He's passed away since, but yeah, so that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Very interesting. All right, Susan, you're next.
Okay, so you guys are too exciting with your stuff. Well, this was hard, okay, because I went from something recently, or and I couldn't think of anything, and then I thought about my parents. Same thing, they have a lot of old records and all that, and I don't know where they are. I got to dig them up, though. But you mentioned already a couple of the artists, and one of them was, well, Mike just mentioned him, my dad would always sing the Wasted Days, Wasted Nights. And, you know, you just do that, you know, because he liked it, you know.
Everybody in San Antonio knew that song.
Mhm.
No, but my dad sang it. Okay. Maybe. Knew it. But now, I mean, and now I think about it, I miss him even saying that now. He doesn't do it anymore. So, you know. But how do I say? I've been exposed to, I guess, the older singers, but I'm going to tell you, I'm going to be honest, I don't know names of songs that, you know, that they were. I don't know how to say that. Like Vicente, that was another one favorite in our house, you know. But I couldn't tell you a specific name of a song. Now, if I heard the song, I could say, hey, yes, that's it, you know. That's the problem, you know, since I was little hearing these songs, you know, these artists. And I know there's many of them. I know one that my mom really loves, or, you know, I actually bought tickets for them to go see him. He passed away in 2016, I think. One Gabby, my Spanish is horrible.
Gabriel?
Juan
Yes,
Gabriel?
yeah.
Juan Gabriel.
Mhm.
Oh, okay.
So, you know, I wish I could have gotten better seats, you know, but they got to see him one last time before he passed away. And like I said, I couldn't tell you what songs were their favorites. If I hear it, I can say, okay, that was it, you know. I never got the song names since I heard the songs, but I was young, you know, when I heard these artists.
That happens to me a lot, especially with like really old regional music. It's like, I know those songs, I know part of the lyrics, I know, you know, whatever, but yeah.
Mhm.
Press me to like tell you who sang it or what was the name, or, you know, it's like, I don't know, you know, I have to ask my mom.
Yeah, I would have to ask her.
Yeah.
But look what I was doing this morning, calling my dad in Mexico. I was at my mom's last night. I was doing the same thing with her, and she goes, "I don't remember."
Oh
my
my gosh.
dad remembered more because he was actually there. He actually wrote. Yeah, I couldn't tell you some of the old stuff either.
Classic Mike, waiting till the last 20 minutes before the show to get his information.
Actually, I got up at 8 o'clock this morning. I put 2 hours into today. I started doing last night, but I was tired. I know what to do.
That makes this a passion project for Mike.
Ooh, yeah.
2 hours.
When I saw the subject matter, I go, that one looks a little bit challenging. You better devote more than 7 minutes. You better actually get on the ball here.
Oh.
Yeah.
So it's going back and forth. So, you know, like you guys had a favorite thing. I go, man, my music has been lost. I don't know. I don't listen to as much as music I used to. It's sad, you know.
Yeah.
Want to listen all day. So that, you know, I had those in the background, and I'll just mention, I guess, not even new, because they don't sing anymore. Santana, you know, I used to, you hear the one that comes to mind. Well, no, you know, the one that always play at quinceañeras, you know.
Europa.
Yeah. Well, I always wanted to play it, you know. I never got to learn it on the guitar. So.
Never learned the lyrics either.
No.
Never wrote it. They never wrote any words to that song. Never got around to it.
So, but
That's interesting. I wonder how he came up with the title, but oh well.
You know, and I've met him on more than one occasion.
Yeah?
I've worked his shows, been backstage with him, and that would have been a good question to ask. Yeah.
Mhm.
So I come up with that title of that song.
They recorded an album, I guess, about 3 years ago. Some of the original members, they got back together because they only did 3 albums. I think it was Santana 1, 2, and 3.
Mhm.
And then after that, he went solo. Like,
Yeah.
even though it wasn't technically like the band Santana anymore, it was just him. But about 2 years ago, they recorded I think it was a Santana 4. And he brought back Neil Sean, the guy from Journey that used to be in the band with them, and a bunch of other guys got together, and pretty good stuff.
You're talking about like the original Woodstock lineup?
Yeah, he brought back the lineup from back then.
Oh,
Of course, they're all in wheel. They had to wheel them all in.
Are they alive?
Eh,
Oh my God.
terrible.
Gotta give him a shot of a B12 and Geritol real quick.
Well, that's the one artist I thought everybody was gonna mention, either that or Selena. But yeah, that's
Well, I tried not to pick the obvious one.
Yeah.
For that reason. I said, I'm going to pick this guy, and then if I don't go first, somebody's going to beat me to it.
See, that's why I knew that those would be the obvious ones. But I also had Linda Ronstadt.
Yes.
I thought about her too.
Canciones de mi Padre. I actually saw her on tour with that album. I took my mom to that too.
Oh.
And she did sing Malagueña Sabrosa.
I don't know.
Don't bias.
Yeah.
Don't buy it.
Ricky Martin.
Shakira. Nobody's mentioned Shakira.
Ricky Martin.
Yeah.
Ricky Martin. Yeah.
I couldn't, So it would have been all young, and
Pretty good. Good list.
Good list.
Good list of music. All right. Well, those are our music choices. And I think we had one more thing. We were gonna do
Miscellaneous.
Miscellaneous, yeah. So why don't we go ahead and just give our miscellaneous?
Who's first? Me again?
If you want to go first, if not.
Yeah, I got one. It's funny because I thought we were just doing music and movies, and then yesterday we said miscellaneous. Ooh, I need to come up with somebody. And luckily I did. I found somebody. Lee Trevino, professional golfer. Got born in Garland, Texas in 1939. He's currently 81 years old, living in Florida.
Wow.
Yeah. He's still. I hadn't seen him in a long time. I had to see him. He's still with us. Yes, he is.
I know his daughter had also been playing golf, but yeah, I hadn't heard him mention in quite a while.
Winner of 6 major golfing titles. He has he was a Marine. It's interesting because as a kid, he would sneak onto golf courses to play because his dad gave him some golf balls, and he just started hitting them, and he really took to the sport and started enjoying it. I was really enjoying reading his bio because there was a lot of interesting things about him and his history with the PGA and all that. And that after he got out of the Marines, he started working at a golf course as a professional, and he would make side bets and hustle money from the other people. Because I don't know if it's because he was Hispanic and they didn't think he was that good, but he would make money winning bets with people on the golf course. But eventually he qualified for the PGA and started winning. And he has an interesting history with the Masters. He won 6 titles. He won 2 PGAs, 2 US Opens, and 2 British Opens. He never won a Masters, but he didn't like the Masters because, as you know, especially back then, the Masters was very exclusive. And he played the course once and he said, I don't want to play there anymore. It's just, I didn't like the way it felt. He said, normally they wouldn't let somebody like me in there unless I was coming through the kitchen. And so he kind of stayed away from the Masters. Now, eventually he did play the Masters and he ended up coming in 10th. But they've gotten better. But I know that for a long time the Masters, the people who run the Masters, I can't remember the name of the golf course, but they were very exclusive. So he had an interesting history with that organization. But he's a very accomplished golfer. He's in a PGA Hall of Fame. He's quite accomplished, and of course, he's being Latino. I remember, and this kind of goes back to I was talking about my mom with that song. My dad was a huge fan of Lee Trevino. He would watch golf every weekend to see Lee Trevino. My dad never picked up a golf club a day in his life, but he would always watch Lee Trevino. And it's funny because as a kid, I was like, why does he like this guy so much? He's a good golfer, yeah, but Jack Nicklaus is a good golfer. What? There's a Latino connection, of course, So my dad would never say like do a grito or anything whenever he sank a birdie or anything like that. But my dad was a big fan of Lee Trevino, and that's how I got exposed to him. So in a way, it makes a connection like I did with my mom. He's my connection to my dad. Not as emotional, but it was pretty cool watching Lee Trevino and watching my dad watching Lee Trevino. So he's my miscellaneous choice.
Cool.
Very cool.
My dad was kind of like the same with Fernando Valenzuela, the pitcher, LA. I didn't understand. I was like, my dad's he was never a sports guy, and all of a sudden he started watching baseball. I'm like, why is he watching baseball? He never watches baseball. Then I realized it was because of him.
The LA Dodgers.
LA Dodgers.
Played for the Missions too.
He pitched here at BJ Keefe Field, I believe, before
the Missions.
The Missions were the farm club, the minor league club for the Dodgers.
Mm-hmm.
Whenever somebody got injured or needed to rehab a little bit, they sent him back down to the minors, and I think that's how he ended up here. I think it was if I'm not mistaken, he may have started with the Missions, but I think he was already with the Dodgers, and he came to San Antonio for.
I think he started here. I think.
Did he start here?
I think so, and then he went up to LA and he blew up. Yeah.
But he's from Mexico. He's from Mexico. Mm-hmm.
Because I remember when he was here, I already knew who he was. Like he had already made a name for himself before he was here.
Mm-hmm.
So
You'd have done some rehab time.
Right. I don't know. I'd have to look that up. But I definitely remember him being down here and it being a big deal when he was here.
Mm-hmm.
Like, so that tells me that he was already in the national spotlight as a major leaguer, and for whatever reason he got sent down here. I could be wrong, but that's the way I remember it. And then
I remember my dad being like a big fan of his, and I was like, what's the deal? And I mean, but he looked like my dad, he had that kind of like, he looked like he just came out of the jungles of Chiapas or something, man. And just like, apocalypto, like this. He's in a LA Dodgers uniform, and then he took him. He won a championship. They won a World Series, with him,
Knuckleballer, and you always used to look up to the heavens.
Yeah, I always look up. Mm-hmm.
Fernando Valenzuela, remember that?
Well, that wasn't mine, by the way, but I wanted to mention that because since Victor mentioned Lee Trevino.
Yeah, it's the same thing with Freddie Fender. I remember my dad like turning on the TV and look, a Latino from South Texas is on the national stage. I don't remember what show it was. I think it was Hee-Haw. Could have been Grand Ole Opry, but it was a proud moment for my dad that Raza had made it on national TV. Yeah.
I think it was during that time with that Chicano movement and everything, right? 60s and 70s. That's when you start seeing a lot of these artists like Santana and Freddie Fender and, people making it pretty big.
Yep.
Inroads.
Feliciano.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Very good.
Mm-hmm.
So was that your pick, Jose?
Mm-mm.
No. Oh, okay. I thought that was your pick. I wasn't sure.
No, only because Victor was talking about Lee Trevino. Maybe think about Fernando Valenzuela, just think about that. I'll go ahead and go do my two since I'm already flapping my gums. So one of them is going to be Gus Garcia, and they're both kind of like San Antonio connected. If you guys don't know who he is, he was an attorney here in San Antonio. Have y'all ever heard of him?
I've heard of his middle school.
So there is a middle school name for him, but he's very underrated. And the reason why is because he was an attorney here in San Antonio, spoke perfect English, perfect Spanish. I think he was born here. I'm not really sure on his backstory, but he in the 1950s, he fought the first case in the Supreme Court where a Mexican American was involved, and Mexican Americans lawyers fought the case. It was him and another one too. I forget the other guy's name too, but they spoke in front of the Supreme Court, and that case was called Hernandez versus Texas. Had a major impact on Mexican Americans, and a lot of people don't know this, but because of that case, it gave more equality to Mexican Americans. And so a lot of things like the segregation and stuff that was going on at the time, not just with Black people, but with Mexicans too, that case pretty much did away with it. And it also kind of categorized Mexican Americans as white. Like, I don't know if y'all notice, like whenever you go to fill out an application or on the census, Hispanics are always kind of categorized under white. And it's because of that Supreme Court case. I'm not going to get into like all the details about it, but it does mention, that Mexican Americans are a class of white, but they're a certain class apart from being white. So
ethnicity is Hispanic. Yeah.
There you go. Their ethnicity is Hispanic. So that's one of the reasons why. But his story's kind of sad too, because he was an alcoholic and he ended up dying from that. And he died from liver damage, poor, by himself, pretty much, a lot of people didn't know about him. And when he died, it wasn't like a really big deal, but he's in the history books. And I kind of think sometimes like it would make like a really great movie if they ever did something on his life, because what he did had a really big impact on Mexican Americans. And the second one is Henry B. Gonzalez, who was one of the first. A lot of people don't know why the convention center here is named after him, but he was, if I'm not mistaken, the first Mexican American that was in the House of Representatives that made it to the federal, government. And at the time, I guess he was one of the highest ranking federal government officials. And he also helped break up a lot of segregation here in Texas. We live today in this time right now where we're free to go wherever we want. But there was a time where, Mexican Americans couldn't go to certain places and they were discriminated against. And I remember my mom telling me in school that when she was going to school that she get in trouble for speaking Spanish. She would get, hit by the teachers. Yeah. And they would, in the hallways, they would yell at them for speaking Spanish. And, it's a different time, and so when you think about the context of how things were and Henry B. Gonzalez making it to that position, it's a big deal. And again, he's very underrated. A lot of people don't know much about him, except that convention center is named after him. But I wanted to mention both of those guys because I see them as, politicians and really big heroes.
And the thing about Henry B., I can say he's a graduate of Fox Tech High School, Buffaloes, and he's not a communist.
A lot of people accuse him of that.
Don't call him that. He'll punch you out.
Punch you in the nose. Yeah.
He did punch somebody, right? Yeah, he did.
Yeah. It was at the
Earl Abels.
Earl Abels.
Yeah. Earl Abels, yeah, he was in a restaurant.
Yeah. Somebody called him a communist at Earl Abels while he was having dinner, and he got up and punched him in the face. He got away with it because he was
feisty. Love him.
Yeah. He was a handful, that's for sure.
Well, there was inciting language going on, and yeah. Oh, those are two.
His son got into politics too. Yeah.
Two very good historical figures there. Yeah, very important.
And you mentioned Henry B. Gonzalez, and that's a good segue for me. Are you done? Can I?
Yeah, I'm done.
I'm sorry. I'm just gonna start talking now. Sorry about that. No, but Henry B. Gonzalez was on my list. I started to make a list, but they were of San Antonio notables. They were all politicians. I remember when we first started this podcast, we said we were going to stay out of politics. I said, well, man, I'm going down the wrong road with this. So I'm not going to get into politics. I don't care if you're left or right, conservative, liberal, Democrat, Republican. That's not what this is about. But bringing up Henry B. was part of it. It's more about his accomplishments, how he came from Fox Tech High School, his humble beginnings to, the federal level, in U.S. politics as congressman, and this will show you how my mind jumps from one to the other. Then it brought up Henry Cisneros, same thing, humble beginnings. I don't know if he still lives there, but when he was he made it to mayor of San Antonio, but he maintained a home on the west side. He
Mhm.
stuck true to his
roots.
and made it all the way to as HUD secretary in the Clinton administration. Again, my mind started to jump again. Brought me to the Castro brothers.
Hmm.
You know, you look at their biographies, accomplished, impressive, you know, young men. I mean, they're in their 40s now, but they were very young when they started.
Hmm.
Stanford educated. Julian became mayor. Joaquin became a congressman. Julian was part of Obama's cabinet as a HUD secretary, as well as Henry Cisneros.
Hmm.
So,
And presidential hopeful.
yeah. So you know, that I know that we're running that fine line into politics. So I'm not going to go too far into that, but they were all accomplished and all from humble beginnings with San Antonio origins. Again, this shows how my mind wanders. I started thinking, well, Castro brothers are on my list. I go, you gotta get away from politics, and then I don't know, popped into my head the Diaz brothers, and I'm not talking about the Diaz brothers mentioned in Scarface. Lopez, Robert Loggia's character, Frank Lopez, and Al Pacino were having a conversation. Oh, now I got to deal with the Diaz brothers. I'm talking about the Diaz brothers in MMA, and I go, we never talk about sports, so I'm glad you guys and Fernando Valenzuela, because a lot of people think MMA is just horrible, brutal sport. I know, but Diaz brothers, I find especially during the pandemic, I watch a lot of YouTube videos. I started getting into these old MMA matches, and these guys are some brutal, tough brothers from California. So they're very impressive. If I ever had to hire a security detail, I would hire these guys. The Diaz brothers from MMA, not the ones mentioned in the movie Scarface. Like I said, I was all over the place with this one from politics. That just tells you how my mind wanders. How I got from Henry B. Gonzalez to
MMA.
The punch.
Oh, there you go.
There's a connection. Maybe subconsciously that's what it was.
Henry B. got him in an armbar and made him submit.
Yeah. Oh, and I even put a little side note here. It has nothing to do with Latino Hispanic heritage. I was like, I'd like to see a exhibition match between Ronda Rousey and Steve-O from Jackass. Just an idea. Again, my mind wandering.
That's a topic for our next one.
I'd like to see Steve-O get a beat down. It's just, I think that would be entertaining. She's doing WWE now, so she might not mind. So anyway, I know I got silly there at the end, but it was all last minute. I ran out of time, and I really didn't research that segment seriously. But that's it.
That's your choice. Okay.
Yeah,
We don't have enough time to get to mine and Susan's. So let's take a quick break, and we'll be right back with those and birthdays and shout outs.
Chicharrones. Roll the R.
Chicharrones.
Chicharrones.
I don't feel Hispanic.
We're all practicing rolling our R's, Jose. Chicharrones.
Get ready to do your to end with your grito, your best grito.
Or cowbell.
All right, Susan, you want to go next?
I guess. Let's see. Why you laugh?
Because you're like not that enthusiastic. You're like, we're like Lee Trevino, Fernando, the Diaz brothers, and I guess. Sí, señor.
Don't be putting me in that lazy mouse category.
The lazy mouse.
Let's see.
Okay. Well, because I felt like, oh, now I have to do a scientist. But I didn't want to do scientists because it's all men. Sorry. And very few women. So that gets to me. I found one, an astronaut, first astronaut, Hispanic female astronaut.
Okay.
I mean, Engineer Ellen Ochoa.
Ochoa?
Ocho?
Yes. See?
Number 8.
Right. First female Hispanic in space. Okay. She was also a co-inventor of about 3 patents in optics
Nice.
and image processing. So it's good. She's got paper there. Astronaut in 91, but she flew in 4 shuttle missions in 93, But then she also was the first Hispanic director of the Johnson Space Center.
Oh.
The first Hispanic one, but she was the second female director. Okay. There's only been 2. See?
Wow.
Not a lot of women. Seriously, I didn't find a lot of women scientists Hispanic.
That's why we have STEM, thank goodness, hopefully.
Yeah. And when I read that, actually that reminded me of a student I had. She was from Mexico, She was learning the English, and so I was trying to learn the Spanish with her. But she did speak English pretty well, But I remember she was so excited. She wanted to be an astronaut, in the military, a doctor, everything. And so she was getting a telescope for her birthday. Ooh. And I had attended some like a almost a 3-day workshop at NASA in Houston, and I remember I got to meet Sally Fields. So she was signing her books.
Sally Field or Sally Ride?
Oh, sorry, Sally Ride.
No.
I was gonna ask too.
I was watching a movie this morning.
The Flying Nun.
You like me. You really like me.
Subscribe to me, Victor.
Right? I was like, I didn't know she was a scientist.
I know. I was like, what?
In a movie. I was watching
Did she
a movie.
play a scientist?
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was watching a movie with her right this morning, waiting for you guys.
Back a box of chocolates.
Anyway, so I got to meet her, and she signed some books for me. So I had extras, and I had given the girl one of the books. It was a children's book, that she wrote about space. So I gave it to her.
That's cool.
Unfortunately, she didn't come back the following year, so I don't know what's happened. I hope she did get to where she wanted to go. That was one scientist, but I wanted to mention one actress I liked, Rita Moreno. Puerto Rican, first one to win like 4 awards, but an Oscar, Tony, Emmy, Grammy.
What do they call that?
And also a Peabody award now.
Oh.
So for everything and
EGOT, that's what they call it.
yeah, EGOT.
For all, yeah.
Yeah.
And she's been on quite a lot of things, I remember seeing her in the Electric Company when it was on. That's why she won her Grammy Award.
That's my first memory of her.
So, but those are the 2. I'm sorry, I'm not as detailed as everybody else. But yeah, looking at scientists, I knew that I wouldn't find much. That's why I was kind of I was already disappointed before that. There's not enough women on here. So
that needs to change.
Yeah. And so I was trying to, that was going to be my theme for school, but I couldn't find anything. That's the sad part. Because I believe we have a lot of girls that are good at it, but then they just fall off or,
Yeah.
love, they get love in their, boys in their head now and then. It goes away.
Yeah, middle school age, yes. That's true.
That's why I hope that girl that I had made it, I just don't know.
Hopefully, you don't know. Yeah, she might be out there remembering you. I remember my teacher. Gave me a book.
You might be carrying your memory into space.
Yep.
Waiting. So,
That's
all yours.
very good. That's a good story.
Yeah, it is.
I went with an artist.
She did the same thing.
Huh?
Jose, she did the same thing.
What's that?
She did say,
Oh,
you didn't say anything to her.
But she didn't walk off in the middle of your song, though. She actually stayed attentive.
Well, yeah, I picked an artist, of course. Somebody who's influential in Chicano Latin art. Not a lot of people know this artist's name. They're more familiar with people like Diego Rivera and Frida Kahlo. But before them, where did they get their influences from? There was a guy named Jose Guadalupe Posada. Jose Guadalupe Posada was born in 1852. Long time ago. And he was a revolutionary artist. And again, we've been talking kind of politics mixed in with our thing. I think that kind of comes with just the culture. I mean, because of the way things have been for Latinos, in America, and in Mexico, it just comes to, it's just part of it. It's kind of bred into us. We're revolutionaries. We fight. We work for change. And so Jose Guadalupe Posada was an artist. He was actually a lithographer who made prints. He made prints for I don't know what you call them, what they would be called in English, but they're like kind of posters that would be put up, pictures that would be put in the dailies and newspapers back then. And he is known for these because we see them now everywhere, especially during Dia de los Muertos. Everybody uses these images. They're images of the skeletons, like las calaveras, las calacas, las catrinas. All of that comes from Jose Guadalupe Posada. And nobody realizes that they were actually meant to be satirical drawings of political and important, usually wealthy people, in society back then. He was kind of a fighter for the working people, and so the images tended to portray, these politicians and, like I said, wealthy people who were in power, showing them as these skeletons, because that's where we're all going to end up. So he doesn't mean it as something scary, because obviously, Chicano, Hispanic, Latinx culture doesn't view skeletons as necessarily, something scary or spooky or anything like that. It's just a symbol that stands for death, and that's where we're all going to return to someday. Back down to the earth and revert to skeletons. And this way, he could draw these images, and people would recognize who the person was without there being any skin or facial characteristics. Other than maybe like, oh, I know who that is because look at the mustache. He wears a handlebar mustache just like this guy. Or, oh, look at that skeleton there is this woman because she's got, the certain hat that so-and-so wears. So there would be little things that people would recognize, especially people who were illiterate and were kind of like on the lower rungs of society. They would recognize who they were, and it would kind of call them up to, to be strong and to keep fighting. My history lesson for the day is done. Thank you very much.
Good. I didn't know that.
So he's the guy that created like the Catrinas and the
La Catrina,
Calacas,
yes.
right there. So
Yes.
real quick, I just, since you were talking about that, the reason I can't meet with y'all next weekend is because we're going up to Dallas, and Melinda's going to participate in an event called Katrina the Event.
Oh,
So they're going to have people from Los Angeles coming to Dallas and from around the country, and they're going to participate. There's different people, artists and stuff, showing off their art, but they're going to have a competition that she and I are working on right now. We're working on her outfit, her crown, her corona, her makeup, and everything. I'm trying to give her some ideas, and we're just working on things that we're going to add to her dress. And I'm also gonna dress up too. She's gonna paint my face too, and everything. Since I think y'all remember, she likes doing that.
yeah. I was gonna mention Melinda must know who this person is. So that's cool.
Yeah. So I'll try to post pictures so you guys can see
please.
and-
Yeah. And this is taking place where now? You said in Dallas?
In Dallas, yeah. So it's going to be Saturday and pretty much most of the day. So we're going to go, and she has to go dressed because she's going to compete. They're having a competition, and she just wanted to go just to go look around. And I convinced her to get involved because they're having a competition. Yeah. And I was like, just do it. You like doing it, so go ahead and do it. And,
Yeah.
Y'all flying or driving?
we're driving over there.
I can say driving costume.
Yeah,
Into a gas station, get off.
Freak everybody.
they even painted her on a mural here in San Antonio on the west side. They liked it so much.
I saw that.
You see that? And
Yeah.
That was so cool.
Wait,
Yeah.
where is it at?
It's on the west side. It's kind of like a wall behind this one bar. I can't remember what the name of the bar is, but we went when they first revealed it, when they were first working on it, and they had like a big event to unveil it to everybody.
Oh.
But I'll send you guys a link to her Instagram account, and you can see it.
Okay.
Or the address so we can go down there and
Yeah,
take
just
some pictures.
yeah. Mhm.
Very cool. Oh,
Yes.
awesome.
Very Latino, so it fits with our subject.
Yep. Well, guys, I guess that's it. We're gonna do birthdays and shout outs real quick, and I guess that's all. Unless all you guys can think of something else. Let me see here. Hold on. Let me get my list real quick.
What, and is Hispanic Heritage Month August?
No, it's
I thought that's
September.
why we picked this.
16 de septiembre.
Okay.
So yeah, till like the 15th of October, because it also encompasses Indigenous Peoples Day.
So it's more than just a month. Okay.
Yeah. Well, no, it's a month. It's a month, but it's like a half month and half month.
30 calendar days or something like that.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Something like that. Let me see let me grab my list real quick.
It's this month, Victor, since we're in September.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
why did you say August? Why would you say August? That's like last month.
Right.
I almost argued with you.
Wink, wink, where
I'm That was wet paying attention.
September.
Yeah.
I just
All
didn't
right.
know that-
We ready for birthdays?
I didn't know when it was going to post. That's why.
Oh. So famous birthdays. Since we're doing Hispanic Heritage Month and it's September. I went for September 16th, which is a couple days away. 16 de septiembre birthdays. I don't think they don't really see much representation here for Latinos, but we got some celebrities here. We have actor Mickey Rourke turning 68.
Oh.
Yeah. Magician David Copperfield, who is going to be 64. The ever funny Amy Poehler is going to be 49. Let's see, rapper Flo Rida's 41. Who else? Let me see. Anybody else? We need.
Does he also do vocabulary?
Vocabulary. I don't know. One of the Tilly sisters. I can't remember. Is it Jennifer? I think it's Jennifer.
Meg and Jennifer. Meg Tilly and Jennifer Tilly.
Jennifer. It is Jennifer. Jennifer Tilly is going to be 62. Still lovely as ever. Well, I guess that's pretty much it. There's a few others, but yeah.
You forgot one.
No, Nick Jonas. I forgot Nick Jonas. 28.
You forgot another one.
Jonas Brothers.
Kid.
Who did I forget?
Mexico's birthday.
Ta-da!
Oh, Mexico Independence Day, right? So.
Right, that's right.
Yes, he's
One of the Independence Days.
Yes. So happy birthday to everyone and to Mexico. And I don't know. Do we want to do a grito for Mexico?
I'll try.
Everybody's like,
I cleared out the room this last time when I tried this.
I'll try. I got a pretty strong voice. I don't.
You're gonna scare everybody else in the house.
I get pretty loud.
You ready?
Yeah.
Okay, we'll do one. Ready?
Hey, Victor. You shattered some of my wine glasses here.
I told you.
Hey, why do you have wine out so early?
I think I woke up some neighbors. They're all coming out of their house looking around. What the hell?
You blew out the microphone for like a split second there. It went silent. It was just you like.
I was all hitting the mute button.
Very good. So
I used to coach, so I've got that voice, you know.
Awesome. Okay, well, I guess that's it for Pod Squad. If you want to contact us, follow the information below. Make sure that you're subscribing to our little buttons down here somewhere.
Push all the buttons.
Follow us on Facebook and Twitter and Instagram. We're on all three. And I guess we'll see you in a couple weeks. Bye. Adiós.
Bye.
Adiós. Hasta luego.